Hello and welcome to eLagaan Whiteboard Fridays, where we look at various tax and compliance related issues in a user-friendly fashion. Let's look at if you are trying to set up a liaison office in India, what are the steps involved. So typically foreign companies or companies incorporated outside India, if they are trying to do business with India, then they might look at establishing a liaison office which actually helps them have a local presence and keep communicating with various prospective buyers and suppliers, not just buyers or even suppliers or anyone, and help in better communication. So that's when a liaison office is generally useful. It is allowed only for foreign companies to be set up here. So the first and foremost is the profitability track record. So the parent company, whichever is setting up a liaison office here, should have a profitable track record in the last 3 years. So in each and every year you should be profitable in the last 3 years, then only you would be allowed to set up a liaison office in India. Your specific prior approval from Reserve Bank (RBI) has to be taken, and this approval is actually a lengthy process. It could take anywhere between 6 months to 1.5 years before getting an approval to set up a liaison office. It also depends on which country, so there are certain restrictions on countries like China, Hong Kong, Afghanistan, Pakistan, those kind of countries from where the time to get an approval is much more longer, because not just RBI, even the Ministry of External Affairs, Ministry of Home Affairs, and everybody gets involved. They need to take, RBI needs to take approval and clearances from these agencies before they can actually go ahead and allow you to set up a base in India. So once you receive an approval from the RBI to set up a liaison office, then you will have to go ahead and register with the registrar of companies. Irrespective of wherever you are planning to open your office in India, all registrations for liaison office happens only in Delhi, that is the registrar of company Delhi office. Even if you are trying to do it in Bangalore, Hyderabad, Mumbai, Calcutta, Delhi, anywhere, all registration for the liaison office will happen only with ROC Delhi. So that is one thing that you should be aware of. RBI gives you a permission to set up a liaison office only for an initial period of 3 years. So once this 3-year period crosses, then again if you want to continue, you have to get specific renewals for continuing to operate here. So you'll have to renew your license. So the initial license period, as I would say, is only for an initial permission for 3 years. Most important, a liaison office can only take up liaison activities. It cannot actually do any billing. So no billing is permitted. You cannot enter into any commercial transactions in India. You can only act as a communication channel between the parent company and the Indian companies, whichever is your buyer or supplier. So this is very important. Please remember that you can only take up liaison activities. So some of these activities could be like promoting export and import of goods to India or from India. So that means your suppliers are there, so you can actually act as a communication channel and help them to export to the parent company, but you cannot export under your name directly. So you can only act as a promotional channel or a communication channel. You can also represent the companies at various forums or buyers or suppliers. You can facilitate communication between the suppliers. These are some of the activities that you can do as a liaison activity. Then all the expenses of the liaison office has to be met only through forex remittance. So any expense that you incur, say you have employees here, you have rent, travel, communication, any kinds of expense that is there for the liaison office. So all the expenses has to be met only through foreign exchange remittance. So your parent company should be bearing all the cost, and they would be sending you money month on month or whatever period that they wish. but all the expenses has to be met only through foreign remittance by the parent company. Since you are not allowed to do any billing activity, theoretically you cannot have any revenues coming out of India, so none of your expense can be met through Indian currency or any Indian revenues. Now, if there is any surplus funds in your account, so and whenever you are trying to close the liaison office, so any surplus funds that is available in your account, it is allowed to freely repatriable. So you can take any amount that remains after settling all the dues and during closure. So before closure, generally repatriation is not allowed. So typically you just keep getting money, whatever is needed to run your business, to run your activities in India. Not too much surplus, maybe some small surplus amounts for contingencies and all. As a liaison office, you cannot borrow money, you cannot lend money, you cannot accept deposits. None of these activities are allowed. So you can't get money from your foreign company and give it to any Indian company for whatever reasons. For example, even your suppliers or your buyers or anything, you actually cannot lend them. So for example, you're trying to sign up a new supplier whom you want to support financially. So you can't do it. So suppliers would be sending the materials directly. Any advance that they need has to come directly to their account from the foreign company, not through you. So you are not allowed to borrow, lend lend money or even accept deposits. You are not even allowed to hold, acquire or even buy, sell anything or transfer any of the immovable property in India. So you can only enter into a lease agreement, and that also should not exceed more than 5 years for anything that you need, say any infrastructure or any facility that you need to run your activities. So you can take it on lease, and the lease also should not exceed more than 5 years. If you want to do that, that is taking on lease for more than 5 years, or if you want to buy or sell or do any immovable property transaction, then you have to take prior approval from RBI, and if they approve of that transaction, then only you can go ahead and do it. Since liaison office does not have any billing activity here, so the good thing is there is no direct or indirect taxes applicable on you. So you don't have any income in India, so you don't end up paying any income tax in India. Since you don't sell any services, you don't sell any products or goods, so no VAT, no excise, no service tax, nothing is applicable. So since this is just a liaison office, you are allowed to act as a communication channel between the parent company and your Indian companies. So no taxes allowed, so that's a very good thing. But the taxes related to employment, for example, when you are hiring employees, so their TDS, that has to be deducted by you, that is your responsibility. So compliances is part of the liaison activities. So anything related to labor laws, for example, PF, ESI, professional tax, shops and establishment, TDS, all these things would be applicable. So you will have to run your payroll completely here and meet all compliances. You cannot skip any of these compliances. And then you have to file annual returns with RBI and ROC, both in specified format. So that is the regular compliance that you have to do. But yes, no direct indirect taxes, so nothing to worry about on that aspect. So these are few of the things that is available to liaison office. It's also called representative office at many places, but it's the same, liaison office or representative office. So if you are looking to set up a liaison office, these are the requirements, these are the activities which is applicable or allowed for you, and these are the tax considerations that you should be aware of. That's it in eLagaan Whiteboard Friday. Thanks for attending the same. Feel free to reach out to us for any queries at support@elagaan.com, or even check out our knowledge base at elagaan.com/kb. Thank you.